This is John Paul. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. I've been doing this for 2 years. I've got over 1,000 videos, and this is my first video on a video game. Now, the reason is this game is The Last of Us 2, made by Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog is a company that I've grown not to like. What they did was, when leaks got out about the game, they gave YouTubers, including Geeks and Gamers, a bunch of copyright strikes. Now, you can't really do that, because leaks get out all the time. But I'm not going to get into that, because I don't know a ton about it. All I know is it's wrong to do that. And they also got Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, the founder of Geeks and Gamers, suspended from Twitter, which I'll talk about a little later. But my point here is that the good reviews don't mean so much. And this Forbes article is going to help me tell you guys why those reviews don't mean so much. Now, this guy, Eric Kane here, I disagree terribly with on many things. But on this, we're right on the same page. So, it's called 2 Warnings About The Last of Us Part 2 Review Scores. The review embargo of The Last of Us 2 was lifted on Friday the 12th, 1 week before the game's June 19th release on PS4. According to Metacritic, Naughty Dog's latest is a critical darling, nabbing a 96 out of 100 and earning numerous gushing accolades from reviewers calling it not only the best game of the generation, but perhaps even the best game ever made. Now, I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade, but there are a couple of things I think readers should be aware of beyond all the gushing and praise as they decide whether or not to pick this game up next week. I want to jump into the main point here, and it's a great point on why these reviews don't mean so much. The final 12 hours or so are completely off limits, so the things that reviewers liked or disliked about the portion of the game can only be discussed vaguely. I understand wanting to keep spoilers out of reviews as much as possible, but this strikes me as more than a little over the top. Whether or not this leaves something important out is impossible to say since I haven't played the game. Here at Forbes, we did not receive a review code for The Last of Us Part 2, nor were we told why, so I'm unable to offer up any analysis or impressions. I would not have been able to talk about the second half of the game anyways, thanks to the embargo, which not only prevents discussion of the game's ending, but also its beginning. So, if you can't talk about the beginning, and you can't talk about the end, I guess we just have to take your word for it that it's a 96 out of 100. So, we're left with a very big, roughly 12-hour question mark, with some reviewers saying whether or not you like the game may come down to what happens during the section they're not able to talk about. Others note that the game's best bits are in its embargoed stretch. Second, and arguably more important, some reviewers, even those who ultimately liked the game, found the violence extreme to the point of questioning whether they could even finish playing. Since the game is somewhere between 25 and 30 hours long, you can see how that could be a problem. And I saw some of that violence, and it was just like unnecessarily like kind of cringy. Like, why did they do that? Like, it seemed like, again, like political reasons. Like, the woman did it to the man, and it was a man who shouldn't have really been killed there because he probably would have not gotten that situation. But of course, with the political atmosphere, they made the woman come out on top. That kind of bullshit goes on. So it just sounds cringy and horrible. And from what I've seen, it looks cringy and horrible. The graphics are beautiful, but honestly, the movement on the bodies, I don't know. It's not perfect. It's alright. I've seen better. And he goes on to say that the ending for The Last of Us, the first part was pretty perfect. So it has one of those, did they really need a sequel here feels. Now, let's get into some points he gives. Character choices and plot holes were so bad throughout that at times he would laugh out loud. So the thing is, what I just said, the main character from the first one, who I think is named Joel, made some really poor choices so the female character can come out on top, which is what we've got going on in the movie industry for the last 5 years. Cliché, boring. The game is 25 hours long and one section feels like a 10-hour side quest. He says he would not have finished it had he not been reviewing. Sounds like we got a Canto Bite in the game. There are improvements to graphics, combat, and exploration, but enemy AI is still very bad. The story is relentlessly bleak, there are no likable characters and no comic relief, and everything you liked about the characters in the first game is gone. Like I said, the main character Joel makes some pretty stupid choices he probably wouldn't make. Like Batman leaving Gotham, or Luke becoming a hermit. That kind of stupid shit. That kind of tired, stupid, shitty cliche shit. On the plus side, it has the best difficulty settings, a fine tuning ever, and looks gorgeous. Who cares? Great difficulty settings. Awesome. Okay, so this article goes on. It's pretty long, but I read the main points. Okay? There's nothing here that turns around and becomes positive about the game. His main points are, the reviews can't possibly be like 96 out of 100 because we have too many blank spaces that couldn't be reviewed. Also, there were some very poor character choices, and the reviewer at Forbes just didn't seem to enjoy it so much. Now, this guy, Neil Druckmann, he seems to be not such a nice fella. The thing is, it's probably him and some other people at Naughty Dog who gave out the copyright strikes, but they also got Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers kicked off of Twitter. Now, if you know Twitter, you know it has a follower system, and this is where I get really irritated. So, Jeremy followed me, which is really nice of him, it's really cool, and he's among a few other, like, big YouTubers with channels with, like, hundreds of thousands of subscribers that follow me. But now, since they kicked him off, obviously, he don't follow me anymore. So, that irritates me, and, that affects me. So, not a big deal. I mean, it's just a cool thing, but nonetheless, I've been building my Twitter account for 2 years, and it's kind of important to me. I like it to be as good as possible. So now because of these guys giving copyright strikes and getting people suspended from Twitter because of some opinions they have, basically, I take a hit for it. Looks like Forbes here has some great points that the game probably isn't that good. And by the way, how many games are there these days? You guys got a lot of choices for entertainment. Anyway, doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. If you're new here, consider subscribing. If you subscribe, I'll be happy. If you don't subscribe, I'll be pretty sad, but I'll get over it, make a new video. See you next time.
Central Parkway in the night with the orange lights, alright.